Hello, everybody! Cyanesk111 here, and welcome, at long last, to Sid Meier's Civilization VII. To tell you guys the truth, at the time I'm recording this, Part 17 of my final game of Civilization VI was published just a few hours ago, because I'm that enthusiastic to see what kind of changes there are in 7 compared to 6. Even though, in addition to the 3 Aegis system that was introduced to this game, I do know 2 additional things the devs have changed so far. The first is that builders are no longer a thing in Civ 7, with improvements being placed down directly now, while settlers now have their own health bars, so they don't get captured immediately if they run into enemy units or barbarians. This allows for you to start growing your empire early on without having to spend so much gold on new builders, and without fear of hostilities capturing your civilian units. The second is that, compared to 6, 7 drastically speeds up combat by having your military units instantly warp to their target and begin fighting, while control switches to the next available unit while the attack animation plays out in the background. The animation plays out for the rest of the turn to make it clear to the player who's fighting who. These changes are what I am going to enjoy most about 7 for right now. And knowing about these additional changes has made me all the more willing to see what other changes 7 has made to 6's formula, so I suppose now feels like a good time to see what they are. Let's dive right in. Okay, so we gotta choose our own leader, then our age and civilization, and then confirm by choosing our governor, game speed, map type, and what size the map is. Problem is, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that in 6, leaders are selected and their civilizations they represent are selected at the same time. And what are these mementos? So I can give each leader their own ability? I have to unlock them at certain foundation levels, which I assume is what this is up here. I have to have a Steam account and 2K account for some reason. Don't know if I want you all to see that just yet. But I think I'm going to start with, this is Friedrich. I thought it was George Washington for a moment. Oh gosh, I don't know if you can tell I'm nervous at this point, but I'm gonna start with Benjamin Franklin. +1 science per age on production buildings and cities. Plus 50% production towards producing production buildings. +1 science per age from active endeavors you started or supported. Can have 2 endeavors of the same type active at a time. So these are the default abilities for each leader. Next level, unlock 2 bifocals, see distinctly near or far. Gain 50 influence after researching a tech or civic mastery. I'll definitely have to check these out at a later time, since both of these memento slots are locked.
A game of strategy is not idle amusement. Instead, we cultivate foresight, circumspection, and learn caution. Let us build a nation together, so that we may know how nations are built.
Well, isn't that cool? The leaders actually get to speak whenever you have selected them and have moved on to age and civilization. Never seen that happening in 6. But at the start of antiquity, we can either do Greece or Rome, with Benjamin Franklin's faces on the top right corners of these. Of these two, I was trying to see if I could go to exploration or modern, but it doesn't look like I can do that. But, I think I'm going to do Rome for antiquity, because it's Benjamin Franklin's strategic choice, actually. +1 culture on districts in the capital and city centers and towns, plus 30% production towards constructing the Colosseum, Legion, Legatus, Forum, Basilica, Temple of Jupiter, and so many of these age unlocks in the exploration and modern ages on top of that. I think this might be the kind of realistic history building the devs might have been going for. Now, to confirm, we have the difficulty choice between Scribe, Governor, Viceroy, Sovereign, Immortal, and Deity. I remember seeing Immortal and Deity in Civ 6. But since this is my first game of Civilization VII, I'm gonna do Scribe difficulty, keep the game speed at standard, Continents Plus, Continents, Archipelago, Fractal, Shuffle, Terra Incognita. I'm gonna do Continents Plus for this first game, and only 3 map types for this game. I'm sure there will be more added in later times, but I'm gonna do standard since it's the largest of the options available. So I guess with that, let us launch it! I see animations for the loading screen for the game now. My cursor's the exact same as the hourglass at the center of the screen.
A new banner unfurls, emblazoned with triumphal laurels. Rome seeks its champions.
Benjamin Franklin. In colonial America, few individuals shone as brightly as Benjamin Franklin. Beginning as a humble printer, he soon established himself as a prominent newspaper publisher. In 1747, he moved into politics and became one of the founding fathers, participating in the drafting and signing of the Declaration of Independence. A restless polymath, Franklin also made many contributions to science in fields as diverse as electricity and oceanography. Who could forget about that time he tied a key to a kite and flew it? Okay. When most people think of the classical world, they imagine Rome. From humble beginnings, it grew to span 3 continents: Europe, Asia, and Africa. In case you don't know, assimilating the wealth and cultures of those it conquered. During the Republic, ad hoc statecraft and meritocracy spawned fierce competition, spurring the professionalization of military and bureaucracy of the empire. But cracks turned into chasms, and a foundering economy and repeated invasions brought Rome to collapse. Do you think those air conditioners we've heard about in 6 might have something to do with that, though? We'll move on from that. Welcome to Civilization VII. Lead your people to greatness. I will do that. Before you embark on your journey to create an empire that stands the test of time, take a look at some of the fundamental concepts of the latest installment in this series. Once you begin the game, you will see tutorials that will teach you how to play, and expert advisors who will guide your decisions. The Civilopedia will also be available at any time, where you can refer to any of the game's concepts or learn the history behind them. Seen the Civilopedia in 6? Ages. History is built in layers. A game of Civilization VII consists of multiple ages. Every turn brings you a step closer to the next age. Some important events are a leap forward. Each age presents its own unique gameplay, new challenges, and an opportunity to change your strategy. Your leader remains the same, but at the end of every age you will choose a new civilization, with a different set of abilities and units at your disposal. The legacy you create with each civilization will carry into subsequent ages. Okay. Legacy paths and victories, create a history. Legacy paths are the primary means by which you can create continuity from one age to the next. Every age presents 4 such paths: economic, cultural, scientific, and militaristic. Whether you focus solely on one path or diversify your efforts, the progress you make will grant you unique and powerful abilities in the next age. In the final age, once you complete a legacy path, you will have the opportunity to perform one more decisive feat to seal your victory. Challenges and opportunities. Change is on the horizon. Every game of Civilization VII has its own journey. As you will see from the following tutorials and advisor messages, there are countless ways to build an empire that stands the test of time. To make the most of your journey, try to remain open to these ideas and be willing to adapt when necessary. Good luck, and remember, you can always open the Civilopedia for more information. Well, that sounds nice. The dawn of civilization. Here your journey begins. Raise an empire from humble beginnings to greatness, and write your own version of history. That's what the devs designed for me to do in this game, so yeah. Greetings, Benjamin Franklin. With a new vision come the people of Rome, ready to put down roots in these fertile lands. Your founder has the ability to establish your first city. Select them now. Just now did. Your first settlement is sure to thrive near sources of water and abundant resources. This location is well suited to your needs. Order your founder to establish your capital city. Click the Found Settlement button located in the Unit panel window, right here. We got Roma, capital of Rome. Behold Roma, the cultural center of the Roman people. This city and all your future settlements provide your civilization with specific yields. Food to feed your people and grow your populace, production to construct special buildings and train units, and science to propel your people into the future and progress to greater things. Okay. A settlement generates an amount of production every game turn. This production can be used for many things like constructing important new buildings or training powerful military units. A city should always be producing something. Select Choose Production to begin. We've seen something like this in Civ VI, so I'm pretty much familiar with that. And I'm gonna choose a scout for right now, since it doesn't really take very long, I don't think. Training will begin at once. In Civilization, players take turns to make their decisions before advancing. There's nothing else to address at this time, select next turn. While the lands surrounding your city are visible, the rest of the world remains unrevealed. This is represented by the patterned tiles near the edges of your worldview. Exploring the lands beyond is key to your civilization's survival and prosperity. Been doing a lot of exploring in 6, so yep. When a unit moves towards the extent of its vision, the lands beyond reveal themselves. Your recently trained scout stands ready to explore the world. A light blue outline represents the extents it can move in a single turn. Right-click a destination tile to move your scout toward an unrevealed part of the map. Let's head eastward. A unit's movement speed is the maximum number of tiles it can travel in a turn. Most units have a movement speed of 2, but some can move farther. Keep in mind that certain map features like rough terrain or water can consume a unit's remaining moves, ending its movement for the turn. Also seen that in 6, so... New technologies emerge when people put their minds to solving great problems. Whichever tech you pursue will next determine the tools you have at your disposal to build your civilization. What path will you choose first? We'll choose a technology, and... Animal husbandry and pottery have the same amount of turns. I'm gonna do pottery. Research takes time to complete. That amount of time is equal to the science required divided by the science your civilization generates per turn. Pottery has a science cost of 63. Since we currently generate 10 science per turn, we can expect research to complete in 6 turns. Increasing your science per turn allows you to research new texts faster. Getting ahead of the competition is a wise strategy for success. I've learned that way too often in 6. And I'll do a warrior next, since they're stronger and better equipped than scouts. Lowly scouts. Thanks to the amount of food your city has generated, it has grown in population. Select Grow City to continue. When a city grows, it can expand into an adjacent tile, gaining the yields it offers. When your settlement's people move to this tile, they'll create an improvement, a rural structure for them to work and live in. Tiles with high yields and tiles containing resources are an obvious choice, but the specific yield type may better suit your strategy. Choose where you like to expand first. Flat grassland, rough grassland. There's 2 types of grassland in this game. When did I ever hear about that? Mine, farm. Let's do a woodcutter for now. Okay, I still gotta move my scouts somewhere. Moving into new frontiers. I'm probably just gonna skim through the rest of the tutorial messages since they take a little while to read. Exploration has revealed a cave. Wow. Hidden benefit or opportunity. I'll have to move my unit over there and see what it does. Wilderness Shrine lies in a tranquil grotto. Spend 1 turn of culture. I'm not so sure if the red line at the bottom of the first section, of the first choice, is good or bad. I don't really need to fully heal my unit, since... how do I check my unit? Okay, it's at full health. Gotta make a discovery choice, so... I'm gonna recruit those who wish more in their lives. I'm guessing that this is the same as tribal villages in 6, and it's a mountainous desert, but I thought it was a natural wonder at first. Let's get a granary going. When constructing a new building, you must choose a permanent placement location. Okay. Let's build it right here. Yep, this is definitely looking way different than 6 so far. I'm not sure whether to feel good about this game or whether I should give it a few more plays to get used to it, because I grew up on Civilization VI, and muscle memory is gonna be high and mighty right here. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
All are made of clay.
We got pottery done. Village of Shengol. And they appear to be hostile. Oh dear. So this might be 7's equivalent of city-states. Okay, the Civilopedia that this game was talking about earlier on. I'll do animal husbandry since it takes the least amount of turns. We got a discovery choice. A band of soldiers. Okay. I'm gonna have them make Roma more productionable. Productive, that was the word. Had to think about it for a moment. Okay, so marble and cotton were luxury resources in 6. We have just met a foreign leader, Jose Rizal. Yep, it is another civilization.
Ako si Jose Rizal. Makata. Pintor. Revolucionario.
Okay, so this is my first ever game, and I now have the option of picking between three different greetings. I want to be friendly towards my first ever game, towards other leaders, my first game of Civ 7. Nice to meet you, good sir. Okay, I just need to select their leader portrait to open this screen right here. Okay. I haven't seen any diplomatic actions in 6, so this is gonna be... I can just announce them outright, but why'd I want to do that for some reason? I may want to put on a festival to celebrate meeting my first ever AI leader in 7. Influence and spent to support. For supporting the local festival. Now I've got civics to choose from. This is the same as 6 so far. I gotta choose a government. Classical Republic, despotism, oligarchy. Haven't seen despotism as an option in 6. I'm gonna do Classical Republic. For the wonders. Social policies are also new to me. Let's do Charismatic Leader. This is the same as policies in 6, though it works really differently in 7. So just like in 6, I've got to complete a civic to change policies or governments. I'm learning this game as I go. That's how I usually dive right into it. found a coast, it looks like. Our first ever AI leader's up there. And we found another civ.
Je suis Napoléon. Sur cette terre pour déterminer le sort du monde.
Here to decide the fate of the world is he. This might be the capital, I assume. Looks like I was right. And I do not have enough influence to enact any treaties, endeavors, or sanctions on him, so I'll leave him be for now. Pataliputra. Is the name of his capital. Met 2 leaders so far in the span of this part, and this is the village that this game was talking about earlier on. I'm not too sure if I want to go ahead and just fight him outright. I should leave that for another day. I thought the black space was a bird, but it turns out to be a green dragon. A tent camp is what I discovered again. After discovering one tent camp, I found another over here. Grow city again. Picking this tile will give me a farm. So it shall be. Okay. Just like in 6. Improvements can be made even more powerful.
Watches butterflies with envy.
Animal husbandry is complete. And we've completed our granary. And yeah. Providing more food for my civ. Diplomatic action from Jose Rizal. And it's a cultural exchange. I don't have enough diplomatic favor to support, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept. With pleasure. Technology. We'll do sailing, despite me not being anywhere near tiles. Anywhere near coastal tiles. I'll do a brickyard. Place here. So the farm will be replaced if I place the brickyard here. This will be converted to an urban tile, apparently. And this is already an urban tile, so why not? I should probably get that tent camp before Napoleon gets to it. Well, speaking of which, hello there. Ooh, whoa. This is from the village of Shangle. So it's going to be a major victory for us, but wasn't expecting for combat to get he did this fast on turn 15. Fierce group of archers lives in these areas, skilled but proud. This will give us +1 archer to Roma, but it would spend 3 turns of culture. +50 gold for leaving the hunters, though. It sounds tempting, but I kind of want an archer. Settle into their barracks, uneasy at first, but they carouse with the other soldiers in time. That's nice to know. And we felled the hostile unit. A battlefield nourishes the soil with iron. Deep within the layers of earth, life begins anew. Remnants of the human cost of war feed... Oh, I right-click before finishing it. Oh, but I can... But I won't be able to move on from it until I hit close. So I guess this means we discovered iron now? I don't know. There's their village. Supervisor. Why would I want to take their money while they're arguing? That's mean. I'll meditate a settlement. It's the more moral of the two options available to me, so it had to be right. We got our archer right here in Roma. I'll have them explore down south. Looky here, we discovered a campfire. Got a production. You now have the opportunity to train a settler unit. Couldn't train settlers freely in 7. I could train them freely in 6, but I'll go ahead and train one. Settle my second city. This world is full of so many interesting places. Coastal and open ocean are the names of the water tiles. Campfire. Study the curing process. And enjoy the food are my 2 options. I want to study the curing process, so...
Fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea.
So I can complete sailing and get some leeway into one of these 3 new technologies, and that is going to be writing. It's a scientific improvement for meeting other civilizations. You get the Eureka for that in 6. I don't think Eurekas or inspirations are a thing in 7, though. We get mastery of the text we've researched, which is definitely new to 7. Exploring more of this coast while we're getting the opportunity. Village Teotihuacan. And it's friendly, at least. I may want to do something about the hostilities that are out and about around my city so far. We'll get to it when we get to it. I'm gonna build a mine right here. And that's how my civ grows. Evermore. A sewer, and it's hostile. Uh-oh. But I hope Napoleon's prepared to face them. My units can already traverse coastal tiles, which is cool. I'm not complaining.
Do nothing which is of no use.
And we unlocked discipline. And we're open to a policy change. But I think I'm gonna keep charismatic leader as my active policy. And we can also have mastery of civics as well. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do Mastery of Discipline for right now, since Mysticism takes 7 turns and Tactics is gonna take 13 to complete. So that's Discipline 2, as it's called up there in the Civics orb. Just gonna have my scout continue exploring up there. My other units will continue exploring down here as much as they can. Gotta explore these 2 tiles. Or else I won't be very satisfied. And we got a legatus. So these are all the commands I can use for each of my units. Yep, this game is definitely going to take some time to get used to. However long it's going to take. Ooh, what happened? Mountainous tropical... Volcano... So tropical tiles are actually a thing in this game now. It's next to a hostile village unit. May want to move my archers away from this hostile unit down here too, before anything bad happens to them. Relationship with Jose Rizal changed from neutral to friendly. Still got local festival active for 2 more turns. We can't move from this tile to this tile, apparently, because of this little mountain thing blocking the way. That's new. Never seen that in 6 either. And we're reaching the bottom of the map, which is the lowest point we can go at any time in the game. Treasury. Gold being a very powerful resource to produce things instantly. Most buildings and units have a gold maintenance. Yada. Seen that in 6. We got a very mountainous region right here. Okay, so it's a scout from Napoleon. Coming down to check Schengel out. Hope that's the reason he's down here. We got a new settler ready. Ready to reach the... to expand the reach of the Roman civilization with a new settlement. As with the first, look for fertile land with good yields and close access to water. And I think this is where I am going to go ahead and end off this part. This game is proving to be a bit challenging to get used to, given that I've played 6 so much, but if the devs want to be more history-focused with 7, then so be it. I just gotta get used to all the mechanics and ordeals that this game is gonna put me through. And so long as I play my cards right with these 2 civs up here, Napoleon and Jose Rizal, that's his name, I might actually go ahead and work my way towards a victory at some point. But not until the late game, I suppose. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye!